Hello! So today I am wearing, again, some kind of funky eye looks. I've got two different things, very different from each other, going on. So these eye looks are created with dupes of the new Colourpop zodiac sign quads that they just came out with. So these quads spoke to my soul. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. For one, I have one of the quads when they first released their very first few, and I love the quality. Colourpop to me can sometimes be hit and miss, but these quads have Colourpop's best shimmer formula to date, in my opinion, and the mattes are very, very nice. And I love a good quad. I love a quad because it's easy, simple, requires very little thought. So when I saw they were coming out with these astrology quads, I was like, oh my gosh, so many of these look like perfect quads to me. Like chef's kiss, whoever did the color stories, for the most part, did a really good job. Spoiler, I did buy one. I'm ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a good fit for me, what I like, what I need. But I wanted to buy all of them. I thought they were all so beautiful. So what I thought I could do is instead we could go through and dupe 6 of the ones that stood out the most to me. There are 12 in total. I'm not duping the one that I got because I think that would hurt my soul. But I'm gonna dupe 6 other ones, and I hope that you enjoy. I love doing these build your own palette dupe type of videos, and so if you like those, I hope that you subscribe, like this video, and keep on watching. Okay, so here we are, ready to build some Colourpop quads from the new zodiac sign collection. And I definitely know the first one I want to do is the Cancer one. Now, full disclosure, I did buy one of these palettes. Am I proud of it? Maybe, maybe not. I'm excited for it for sure, but was it the right choice? Maybe, I don't know. I'm excited for it. But I got the Capricorn one. I am not a Capricorn. I'm actually a Gemini. But I got the Capricorn one because it seems like a really nice neutral palette. I'll go ahead and pop up a picture so that way you can see it. And I figured it'd be a nice one to travel with because it's more cool tone. I do have another one of these from the first time they came out with them. I have the, oh gosh, what's it called? Give me a second. Let me look at that. So I have the cream soda one from when they first launched these. And why these are tempting me so much is because this is by far Colourpop's best shimmer formula. These are freaking gorgeous. And so I'll go ahead and swatch them so that way you can see. This one again was the one that I thought was a great one to travel with. Look at how shiny these are and sparkly. This one is crazy. Let me swatch it right here. Do you see all of that glitter in it? I mean, it's not glitter, it's just sparkle. But I love these, they're gorgeous. So when Colourpop came out with that astrology collection, a lot of them were tempting me, which I know you know from the intro. But yeah, let's go ahead then. I'll just skip that part since you've already heard it. And we will go right into building our first quad, which is going to be the Cancer quad. Okay, so for the first color, I'll go ahead and pop up that Cancer quad over on this side for you so that way you can see it. But for that first color, I actually don't like the color that Colourpop picked. It's almost a little bit warm looking, at least in the swatches, which I'll also go ahead and show you. And I just don't feel like it goes with the rest of the vibe for the Cancer palette. So I've got 3 colors here. I've got one that's closer to the original Colourpop shade, and then 2 more purple colors because I think that these actually work better. But I did want to try this one out. It's a little bit more cool and a little bit more purple than the Colourpop one. So we'll try it out. Let's swatch it. And that's from ABH. So this one is a potential. but I do think I want to go more purple. So let's try these out. This is from a Colourpop something. And then this last one is also Colourpop. It is a Colourpop single. And it is, oh god, it's so dirty you can barely read it. It's Silver Lining. Why is a purple shade called Silver Lining? Ask me, or riddle me that. But here are all three of these. I feel like this one may be a little too purple. But this one's not purple enough. So I think this is gonna be our winner because it's like kind of in between. It's a little bit deeper than I would maybe like, but I think out of our three choices, this is the winner. So we'll go ahead and put that bad boy in our quad. So the next shade, I'm not even going to bother swatching to try to find because I know I have like an exact dupe for this shade. So when Colourpop put out the like swatches of these palettes, I was like, oh my god, I have that color. So what they have is like a really dark purple. It looks like a little brown. Honestly, here it looks more black, but in person it looks a little more brown. But this is from ABH Subculture, and I was like, wow, that is like the perfect dupe. So we'll go ahead and put this one underneath here and move on to the star of all of the quads, which are the shimmers. So the first shimmer is like a purple that seems to shift gold, and I have quite a few of these actually because I freaking love this type of shadow. I actually have two more of these, but they're in build your own palettes that I already have constructed, so I don't want to mess with those, but we still have lots to choose from. So this first one is from Clarity Cosmetics, and you can see the shift like on or in the pan. This one is so pretty. I love it. Now, Clarity, their shadows are interesting. They're hit and miss. They're kind of chunky. You can see like over here, like you gotta kind of smooth them out, but when you do, oh my god, look at that. That is gorgeous. I think that this is gonna be it. Like if we're being honest, just because like the purple is a little bit more like of a cool purple, whereas both of these ones, this first one is from Terra Moon. Yes, it's Terra Moon Starlit. This one's like a little bit like warmer and like almost like darker. And the shift isn't quite as like that first one is crazy, right? And then this last one is one of the marbled shadows from Glam Shop. And these I like, okay, these you gotta kind of work with. I'm trying to keep like the marble pattern in it slightly, but this one doesn't have quite as much of a gold shift. And it's a little bit more like blue. So you can see it's kind of got like a pink shift. So yeah, I think that that Clarity Cosmetics one is going to be the winner. It's so pretty, oh my gosh. Now, the last shadow in this quad is the most interesting to me and was really what tempted me to almost get this one. And it is like a light shimmer, but it has like a purple to it, but also kind of a blue. So I've got 4 potential options for this, and I'm not sure any of them are quite right, but they're what I have. So this first one is a depotted BH shadow, and on camera you're like probably like, what? But in person it's kind of got like a purpley base, and it's like a blue-green shift. Maybe if I swatch it we can see it a little better. I think maybe you can see it a little bit better on my finger. Well, let me try to swatch it again. So you can see how it's got kind of like that like red base if I turn my hand. And the reason that this one sticks out to me is because it's light, but it is a little bit more green instead of blue, so I don't know. Now, as a color, I love this color. I have a few that are kind of similar to this, and I always gravitate towards them. But for this, I don't know if it matches our purple vibe. The next one I have is from JD Glow. This is Good God. And this one I think will be a good one, maybe. So here it is, and you can see it's like a lighter color, and again it's like got that blue shift with like a purple base. I'm not sure if you can really see that. But I think that one might be a good one, but let's go ahead and swatch these other two. Now this one is one of my favorite shadows of all time. It's Ube from Looksy, and you can see how stunning that shift is in the pan. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure if you can tell. I actually have a dip in this one. I haven't had it for like that long, but I freaking love this color. Now this one, again, I think it might just be a little too green, but look how stunning that color is. I cannot believe Looksy Beauty has $3 shadows. Like, oh my gosh, it's such good quality. The last one, other end of the spectrum, one of my more expensive shadows. This is Sarah's from Terra Moon. This one I think is gonna be too blue though. Yeah, and it's got that gold. I mean, it's gorgeous, don't get me wrong. Ooh, oh well, it doesn't matter. It's gorgeous, but it doesn't quite match the vibes. I don't think I really have one that's perfect for this, but I think out of these, the JD Glow is definitely the best choice. Now, size-wise, this does not fit the way that they have it laid out. So I'll go ahead and kind of put the shimmers crisscross so that way it's at least a little bit more even. And now let's move on to the next quad. Okay, so the next quad I know I definitely want to do is the Taurus quad. So this one is gorgeous. I love these like green tones and golds. And so I know that was one that I was like, oh, I could totally see myself getting that, but I don't need to. I don't need to. I just got one and I'm duping out the rest because I could have bought all of these. Oh my gosh, I love these little Colourpop quads. But the first shade in that Taurus quad up in the top left corner, it looks like a gold, but it's swatched. It looks more like one of those like goldy green red duochromes. So I have quite a few of those types of colors. I love this type of color. I love these like duochromes that look like more than one shade on your lid and it looks like you put in more work than you did. Ah, that rhymed. But I've got these 5. So this first one is from Adept. It is ACD 17. Now I got some Adept singles like for like the very last time they put out their singles. Oh my gosh, look at all that sparkle from the purples. But I don't know if Adept is going to come out with singles again. I think that I saw somewhere that they're like going to reformulate. I really like this one. I don't think it's a diamond. Like the diamond shadows are more like sparkly than this one is, but it's a really pretty shade. And again, it's got that red base with like a green gold flip. So this is a potential. Next up, we actually have a Colourpop shade. So this is Classic Tea Garden. Pretty classic Colourpop shade, which I love. So this, you're gonna see, these all look pretty similar. So again, this one has more of like, this is, the Adept is a sheer base. This one's a little bit more transparent, but the shift is like almost identical, right? So another potential, we could really probably put any of these in. But next one is another Looksy shadow. This is from like their really new collection. It's from the Butterfly 2 collection. And this is the shade, oh no wait, no, this is not from the Butterfly collection. This is from the original Ice Cream Social collection. And this is Rocky Road, and I really like this one. I'm telling you guys, I'm a huge Looksy Beauty fan. But okay, here is Rocky Road. That one's a little more gold, which actually might work to our advantage since that one in the actual like photo looks more gold. That's a contender. Okay. Next up, we've got a Depotted ABH from Subculture, and I love this color. Oh my gosh, it's so sparkly and beautiful. And here's that one. But see, that one's a little more green with like not as much of a shift. So I love that color, but I don't think it's right to dupe. And then the last one is from Depotted BH Cosmetics, one of their like travel series. And here's that one. But again, the shift you can see, it does shift to red, but it's a much lighter red. So I think out of these 5, the Looksy one is going to be our number 1 choice. So the next shade down is our first matte shade, and it's kind of just like a warm, like red tone, orangey brown. So I tried to narrow it down. I've got a ton of shades that could work for this, but these are the 3 that stuck out to me the most. So this first one is a deep potted Colourpop. Now I think that this one matches the actual like palette the best, but I don't know if it actually matches like the swatches the best, because in the palette it looks more orange, but swatched it looks more brown. But there's that one. Next, depotted ABH. Let's try that one out. Okay, so that one's more brown, kind of red. And then the last one is depotted BH Cosmetics. Okay, we've got a choice to make. Now, realistically, this one might be the best, but is this petty that I kind of want to put the BH in because it matches what we have going? Oh my gosh, focus camera. See how it like matches? But honestly, that one might be the better one. What do we think? I wish you guys were here to help me pick. I do kind of like that this one almost has like a green undertone to it, which I think matches the green vibes a little bit more. Whereas the red doesn't. I guess if it's a red and green duochrome though. Okay, I'll go with the one that matches better. So we'll put in that ABH, and now we're on to the next shimmer. Okay, so the next shimmer is like a pale yellow that kind of looks like it has a little bit of a gold shift to it. So I'm thinking we've got 3 choices. Now this first one I'm not going to use. I'm not sure if you can see, I dropped my palettes and this one like came out. I'm gonna have to repress it. I've got a pile of things to repress. I've never done it before, so maybe I'll film it and we can do that together. But this first one is from Juvia's Place. I believe it's from the Tribe palette. I love the color and I would put it in there, but I don't feel comfortable because I don't want it to break even more. I mean, I guess I'm going to break it all the way, but you know what I mean, So there's that first one. Next up, we've got this one, which is another Colourpop single. This is Paper Tiger. Now this one's a little more peach, so I'm not sure if it's gonna be our top choice. I think that's too dark. The last one is Depotted from the Elf Earth and Sea palette. Ooh, try saying Elf, Earth, and Sea. That'll get you tongue-tied. So really, truly, I'd like to put the Juvia's Place one in, but I don't want to lose more product by it breaking more. So I think I'll go with the Elf because that Paper Tiger one is just way too deep. So for the last matte, it's another one that I already know exactly what shade I'm going to use because I think it's like a perfect dupe. So this is from Terra Moons and it's called Mi Gente. So yeah, easy enough. There you go. 2 quads down, 4 more to go. Next quad is my birth sign, the Gemini quad. This one also really called out to me. I love yellow eyeshadow. If you don't know that about me, there you go. So I've got a ton of matte yellows, which is the first corner in the top left. I just pulled out a few that I thought would be our best bets. Now on camera, these look exactly the same, but in person, I promise there's a little more nuance. Maybe we'll be able to see it in the swatches. This first one, I believe, is from the Sailor Moon palette. And let me swatch that. So I like this one. It's like a nice deep, like more mustardy brown, but, or not brown, mustardy yellow, but it's still bright, which I like. Now this one is confusing because in the palette, this looks like a yellow, but in the actual swatches, it almost looks orange. I'm gonna go with the yellow because I like a yellow way more than an orange eyeshadow. This one is another one that I think may be a close one. It's Tiki, which is a Colourpop single. Oh my God, we just lost a whole big old piece of it. Okay, so that, you can see, that's like a more pale yellow in comparison to this one. Not what we're looking for. Next up is Sydney Grace. This is Geese Lang. I really like this color. I think it's gonna have the same issue where it's a little too light. Let's try it out. That's like more like a true yellow. Like when I think yellow, that is like the yellow, you know? But it's not deep enough. So still that first one is our best bet. Now this one might give it a run for its money. This is depotted from the Honey palette. It's gonna be a pinky swatch, so it's gonna be ugly, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, but see, swatched out, it's still a lot lighter. So all in all, Sailor Moon for the win. Okay, so now we've got the first shimmer of the palette, which is like a bright yellow gold color. I don't know though, is it a bright yellow gold? Because in the pan it doesn't look quite as bright, but in the swatches it looks like a true gold. Either way, I've pulled out a bunch of different like gold, yellow shimmers, and we can try to see which one works the best. So this first one, I don't think is gonna be our one. In the pan it looks like it is, but in practice, oh, see if I turn it, you can see it's got a really strong pink shift. This is from Menagerie. This is Animal Kingdom. It's one of their new ones, and I love this color. Like, oh, look at that gold. Looks perfect, but then when you turn your hand, you're like, oh, it's like pink, like actually like pink. See, it like matches my skin tone almost. No, it's way more pink. I don't know what I'm talking about. Gorgeous shade. Is it what I'm looking for? I mean, is it what I'm looking for? Yes. Is it what Colourpop chose? No. So next up, we've got this little guy depotted from the, oh gosh. I don't know what this was depotted from. If you've seen my ABH video, you know they have kind of some generic colors. So this is kind of like just a gold from ABH. Now that I think is too dark, for sure. Looking at both the swatches and the actual palette, that's too dark. And I'm pretty sure the same is going to be true for this one. This is actually Pat McGrath's shadow. It's really teeny tiny. It's from when she did like her little like 5 pans for holiday a few years ago. Gorgeous color, like, oh, look at that. But again, too dark, too dark. Next up, we've got another depotted ABH. This one I know is from the Riviera palette because it's more of a yellow gold. And I think this one's gonna be a good choice, maybe, but let's see. Yeah, I think that one is good just because it's a yellow gold, right? But it's like sheer almost. Like, see how these have like a way like more like base color? This one doesn't. I think that might be a good one. But we've got a few more. This one I also think is a good candidate. This is from the Honey palette. Let's try this guy. Now it might be a little too dark. Let's see. Yeah, see, again, a beautiful color, but it's just like a little too dark of a base. Now we're on to our last two though. These are both like true yellow golds. So this one is depotted from e.l.f. Let's swatch them out. That one may be a good choice. Again though, it's got that really strong base. See, in comparison to that, like see how strong that base is in comparison to this? I hope you can see. I think that the like more like translucent one may be better. And then last but not least, another one from Honey. Let's swatch them out. There we go. Oh, now that is a yellow gold, my friends. But I think out of all of these, the ABH Riviera is gonna be our best bet. Oh, come on camera, get in focus. Next up, because this video is getting long, we have a warm matte brown. I just picked one because the idea of swatching like a million warm browns honestly bores me. I don't know if it would bore you, but it bores me. So I just picked one. I like closed my eyes, picked one. It's depotted ABH, kind of has a yellow undertone, which I think works well. So boom, matte yellow brown. And actually, the last one, I already know what I want. Like based on the swatches and the actual palette. Let me go grab it and you'll see why I chose it. Okay, so here it is. It's another Clarity Cosmetics shadow, and it's called Wedding Bells? Yes, Wedding Bells. And it's got a yellow base with like a white kind of shift almost. I mean, if we're being honest, it's a champagne, you know, like a warm champagne, but it's so sparkly and I think it's perfect. See how it's like really chunky? I'm not sure if you can see that. You got to really like work in these Clarity Cosmetics shades, but color wise and I mean honestly sparkle wise, it's perfect. I love it. Let's put it in our Gemini quad. So the next palette that I want to dupe is the Virgo palette up in the corner. This one, like when I saw the picture of it, I was like, whatever. When I saw the swatches of it, I was like, oh, interesting. Like, I really like that one. And honestly, this one, I think I'm gonna have a hard time duping at least that top left shade that we're gonna do first. It's interesting. It's really interesting. It's like a pink with like almost like a silver shift, which is something I don't have. I have a lot of pink with blue shift. So we'll have to see. I've got a ton of different shades here. The first one, let's just get right into it. This is from Shine by SD, if it'll focus. This is Get Busy. And again, it's just like a like purpley, like ruddy color with a blue shift, which is kind of what we're looking for. Now this one is deeper than a lot of the other ones I have with a very strong blue shift, which the one that Colourpop has seemed like it doesn't really have that strong of a shift. So that's why I'm kind of stuck, you know? This is a gorgeous color, but I don't think it's quite right. But the next one, this one has more of a base color, but it also shifts more like sparkly blue, which I don't think is gonna be quite right. Oh my gosh, look at that though. Oh, sorry, I had to blow off that extra. But this one, oh, look at that shift. Can you see that like red to blue? Oh my gosh, this is Adept. This is ACD, ooh, let me turn it the right way. ACD 5, and stunning. Oh my gosh, stunning. But I think it's like too brilliant of a blue. It looks more like a silvery, almost like, I don't know, it does look a little blue in the swatch, but I just think that this isn't right. It's gorgeous, but it doesn't match the vibes of the rest of the palette, and I don't think it's the best dupe. So next up. We've got another one that I'm like, oh, that's a stretch, but we'll try it out. This is Cleona. I just placed my first Cleona order like a few months ago. This is Carving, which seems like one of their like best seller shades. So, and it seemed right up my alley, so I got it, you know. Ooh, but see, too dark, too green, not red enough. So beautiful shade, not what I need. Next one, I don't know. This one we'll have to see how it looks. I think this one actually might be one of our best bets. This is from the Colourpop It's My Pleasure palette. And it's got like that really red base. Now this one I think is a whole lot darker than the one, and less like sparkly. Like it's metallic, you know, but it's not sparkly. But so far, I think that this one is our best just because it flashes more silver than the others. So yeah. Next one is from Glam Shop. This is one of their hollow shades. It is Sweet Hollow. Now, I tried putting this on my eyes once, and I don't know if it was this. I gotta test it again, but I'm a little scared because it burned a little bit. But this, oh, I think you can catch it. Do you see how absolutely, truly holographic this is? I know Simply Nailogical is like having issues with her eyes, but if she could, I bet she would freaking love these eyeshadows. And it has like a pink base, which is why I pulled it. I thought, well, obviously the Colourpop one isn't holographic, but it's a pink shadow with like kind of like a silvery like reflect. but I'm scared to put it on my eyes, if we're being honest. Also, now that it's swatched, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Let's try the next one. Next one is a Colourpop single. This is Glass Bowl, another classic. This one actually has quite a dip in it. I'm not sure if you can really tell. I have loved this shade. It does get some weird hard pan though. But this one, I'm not sure if like the actual shade is gonna be deep enough. See how it's like a really light base color? So between this one, which does have kind of like a silvery blue, and this one, I think honestly this one is better because it has a deeper base. But we've got two more. Now this one is interesting. It shifts green. It's a pink to green. It's from Shine by SD and it's toasty. And this one I'm like, I don't know if it's right, but I think it's gonna be more right than it looks in the pan. At least, we'll see. So you can see it's got that like pink base, which the other one does have a pink base, but it does flash green. But look at that duochromeness. Oh my God, I cannot get over my hand right now. Tell me these are not all just stunning. But okay, I better stop moving before I get too out of focus. So I don't know. Last one, I just pulled like a rose color because I was like, well, I don't think I have that exact shift. So I figured I could pull this. This is from the ABH Soft Glam palette. Here's that one. So see, now that one, the base color is the most right out of all of these. But there is absolutely no silver shift to be seen. I don't think I have a dupe for that shadow, which I kind of expected. Maybe I should have gotten that one instead. Oh, it's okay. You don't need every color in the world. That is what I try to tell myself. Sometimes I'm unsuccessful in telling myself that. But honestly, I think that I do want to shift. I think that this one, tone-wise, is the best. This one just might be too deep. I don't know. We'll have to try it, though, because I do want to shift. So we'll do this one from the It's My Pleasure palette. And we're going to start our new section right down here. Honestly, I might have to scoot over because those JD Glow shadows are kind of big. We'll put it there and see how it goes. The next one is another one where the swatch and the actual palette do not match up at all. In the palette, it looks like a dusty mauve-y type of color, but in the swatches, it looks way more pink. So I've got one of each. This shade might look familiar. It's the ABH we swatched earlier. So here it is again. It's pretty, again, it's so brown leaning when it's actually swatched out. Here's this one, which is more pink. This is Depotted Colourpop from somewhere, from some palette. See, now that one matches the swatch a whole lot better. I'm gonna go with what matches the swatch. We're kind of going back and forth depending on how I feel, which one I actually prefer, the palette or the swatch. For this one, definitely the swatch. The next shadow is what Colourpop describes as a silver with a gold reflect, which again, don't really have anything like that. Honestly, when I read the description, I was like, oh, that is JD Glow Fairy Acid, which I do not own, which is unfortunate. So again, maybe I should have gotten this Virgo palette instead of the Capricorn, but the Capricorn really called to me. Anyways, regardless, this is the closest one that I have. It's not really silver, but it's like a white with that gold reflect. Not nearly as sparkly as the Colourpop one would be, but again, we're working with what we got. Oh, I should have gotten the Virgo palette. No, I shouldn't have. But I'll put this one in our dupe palette. Last but not least, for the Virgo palette, we've got a matte, deep, warm brown. Now, again, if you saw my ABH video, I have a ton of these from ABH alone. So I pulled two. This one's more red, the other one's more brown. Now, okay, touching this one, I know exactly what this one's from. This is from the Soft Glam palette because this matte sucks. I did not realize that when I picked it. So there's that one. It's fine. I don't like that matte so much. It's just so dry. The next one is going to be more brown. Does that one from the the Soft Glam palette match the best? I think so. But let me pitch you this. This one, since it's darker, we kind of need a darker brown to go with it. So let's swatch it. Let's swatch it next to this one. Give it the benefit of the doubt. See, they're almost like the same base color, where this one would still add more depth. That's it. I just talked myself into the better ABH shadow. Oh, not that one. That one's the terrible one. This one. So next up is Pisces, which is here. Spoilers, we're going to do Pisces and Aquarius. Now, I think that they did these two signs dirty because the Pisces and Aquarius have almost an identical matte in them, which we'll get to here in a second. But the first shade in the Pisces, I didn't even need to like go really searching because we swatched this earlier. It's a depotted BH shade. We were going to use it for the Cancer palette. And this, when I pulled up the swatches of the Pisces palette, I was like, oh, this is like this same exact shade. So I'm glad we didn't use it before. So this will be in the Pisces palette. Next up, we've got what Colourpop describes as a pale matte brown. So I pulled out a few, and this is the one that I think looks very similar to one of the shades in the Aquarius palette. So probably whatever one we don't end up using, one of these will probably end up in that other palette. Maybe not actually, maybe I'll try to find something a little more different just for the sake of things being different. But anyways, okay, first one is Depotted Elf. Here we go. Ooh, that did not swatch good, and it looks kind of green. Yeah, nope, not a winner. Oh my gosh. Can we just take a second? Look how freaking sparkly my hand is. I mean, my dream. My boyfriend's nightmare, because then I get our bed all sparkly and because they never come off, you know? But okay. Next one. This is Depotted something. It might be the Friendcation palette, maybe? Let's try that. Oh, see, now that looks pretty neutral and very pale and brown. So that's a good one. Next is Depotted BH. Let's try this one out. Oh, that's definitely more warm. And last but not least is this one. Okay, thumb swatch. Ugh. Well, that's very pale. Again, more warm. Let's just, for funsies, go with the Depotted Friendcation shadow. So the next three that I have are my only shimmery teal colors. This is a color I love to look at, but don't love as much on my eyes, which is why I'm glad I'm duping this one and I didn't buy it. Just because I have blue eyes and I feel like it can kind of drown out my eyes sometimes. But anyways, this one's from Depotted BH, the 90s palette. Very pretty, shimmery teal, you know, looking good. Almost exactly like the Colourpop one. Maybe the Colourpop one has a little bit of like a gold shift, but you know, nothing crazy. This is the Depotted Elf. This one looks like it would be perfect, right? You're like, oh, so sparkly and beautiful. Look how sheer it is. Are you ready? Where? I mean, it's gorgeous. Like, I think that that's actually a really nice, like, wash all over the lid type of color, you know? But not for what we're looking for. And this last one is from the Riviera palette from ABH. Here's that one. Oh, that one's deeper. That one honestly might be a good one for the Aquarius palette. Look how much deeper that is than the BH. All right, so BH it is. Now, will this fit? If we get a small one. If we get a small one, it will be okay. All right, last shade in the second to last quad. Last, we've got a matte orangey brown, which I think is just gonna be this one. Let's swatch it just to double check. But I was just looking at what I have, and yeah, that seems pretty close. Maybe not quite as deep, but you know, as good as we're gonna get. So we'll ignore all what would have been swatching a million boring red-brown shades. First of all, yes, I did just mess up my nail grabbing some shades out, RIP. But last palette is the Aquarius palette. Very similar to the Pisces, just like more dark and a little bit more blue, less like teal. The first shade, I already know what shade I'm gonna use. This is another one from the new Looksy Beauty collection. It's Adonis from the Social Butterfly 2. And it's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. When I swatched it for the first time when it came here, I was like, oh my god. It's very light blue, not a whole lot of base with like a gold shift. Now, the one that they have is just an icy, like shimmery blue, but mine's better, so we're using this one, and the pan looks like the same. But see that shift? Can you see it? Oh my god, so beautiful. Next, we've got that shade that to me looks almost identical to the Pisces palette. Why did they do that? I do not know. This one's described as a warm brown, whereas the other one was a pale brown, so I guess there's a difference, but I've got this first shade, which is like one that we've already looked at. I'm gonna start swatching on my wrist. I've just, executive decision. So there's that one. Next up, we've got two ABH shadows. So here's the first one, and here is the last one. Decisions. Okay, let's go with this middle one and call it a day because it's just a warm brown. Next up, we've got that really gorgeous shimmery blue. So I've got 4 to choose from. This first one is a Colourpop depotted shade from Blue Moon. Here's that one. Nice, more satin than like metallic or shimmer, you know, so it's the right color, but you know. Let's just do the next Colourpop one next. So this is depotted from the Bretman Rock palette. This one got a ton of hard pan. If you know, the Bretman Rock wet palette with Colourpop has my favorite silver of all time. The consistency on this one, not the same as that silver. But here it is. Now this one honestly is like more like turquoise. So if anything, I think it might have been better in the Pisces palette. But you can see, maybe, I mean, there's honestly so much sparkle in my hand, maybe you don't know. But this one does have more sparkle in it than the other one. Next two, so this one may look familiar because we just swatched it. It's from Riviera. Here's that one. And I do love that color though. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. The last one is from Sydney Grace. What is it called? Oh no, it's not from Sydney Grace. I lied. It's from Cleona. It's Aqua Fortis. This is way deeper than I expected it to be from swatches online, but honestly, that kind of works out for this palette. So it's like a blue with a gold shift. Oh, that's the winner, right? Because it's blue, sparkly, but at its base, it's more similar to this first one, right, than these other two. So yeah, okay, Cleona for the win, yay! Last up, drum roll, we've got another dark matte brown, yay! Oh my gosh, so many of these. So I just pulled out 2 that are a little bit more warm. This one from ABH, pretty nice, and this one from Colourpop. Here we go. Oh, okay, ABH for the win. Okay, so I know that in like my Z palette, this looks like sheer chaos. So just as a reminder, we have the Cancer quad, the Taurus quad, Gemini quad, the Virgo quad, Pisces quad, and Aquarius quad. And actually, color-wise, I mean, we all know this Virgo one is like, not great. But the rest of them, honestly, I'm like, you know, I had some pretty similar colors. Also, this one from Cancer isn't quite right. But other than that, I'm like, you know, these are pretty close. Now, creating all of these, what I'm noticing is, again, the same thing I noticed about all mainstream palettes. Look at these similar browns all over the place. Oh my gosh. Brands just love putting a matte brown in. And I'm not gonna lie, I love putting a matte brown on my eyes, which is why I got the Capricorn one, which some might argue is like the most boring one. But I didn't need all of these, because look at like these repeats. Honestly, like these two and the swatches, I was like, oh my god, that's like the same exact color. These two, honestly, I was like, are those the same palette? Maybe. But okay, let's swatch all of these bad boys out, and then I'm gonna put 2 of them on my eyes. It's tough, I love them all. Honestly, if I wasn't about to start school again, I would put all 6 of these on my eyes and just suffer through having to clean off my makeup like 3 times in a row. But I'm just gonna do 2. Which 2? I don't know. Definitely the Cancer one. That one is speaking to my soul. Other than that, I don't know. I'm gonna play with all of these like on my own, but okay, let's get swatching. So Cancer quad, we've got this matte purple. Oh my god, the sparkles have migrated to my arm somehow. Okay, well, ignore that. But we've got this matte purple, and we've got this beautiful shade from Clarity. Oh my god, I still can't get over it. Then we've got this shade, which is also amazing, from JD Glow. Good God is Right. Oh my goodness, look at those two together. Oh, so good. And then lastly, we've got this matte from the ABH Subculture palette, which I did a horrible pinky swatch of. Forgive me. Next quad is Taurus. We've got this like shifty green gold from Looksy. Oh, so good. Next, oh my god, I just got my finger. Oh no, I got it all in the shade. Okay. Mayday. Let's just kind of smush that away. It might affect our swatch a little bit, but we've got this nice shade, just kind of like a yellow, greeny, gold, light color. So there's that one. Then the two mattes, we've got like a red brown and this gorgeous green. So red brown, oh my god, I need to learn how to swatch. Then a gorgeous green. So ignore that drunk swatch, but there's the Taurus quad. Last quad in this first row is the Gemini quad. Geminis, what up? So we've got this matte yellow. Go ahead and give that a swatch. And we've got this gorgeous like gold color. Go ahead, swatch that as well. Then we've got like warm matte brown, one of many in these quads. There's that. And then last but not least, we have this gorgeous champagne color. So there is a very bad pinky swatch of that. So here are the first three quads. Okay, we're gonna go for it. I'm gonna try to do swatches on my, oh gosh, my right hand. I'm so bad with my right and left. But okay, Virgo quad, here we go. So here's that first like duochrome shade, which honestly is closer than I thought originally. Here's like this like silvery gold light shade. Here is our pink color, just like kind of a mid-tone pink. And last but not least, here is like a purpley, warm brown. All right, so that is our Virgo palette. Next up is Pisces. So we've got this like really gorgeous shade from BH, which is kind of like a duochrome, like light reddish base with like a greeny blue flip. Love that one. Next we've got a gorgeous shimmer, again from BH Cosmetics. A nice like turquoise. Sorry, I'm trying so hard to keep my arm in frame. Then we've got a matte pale brown. Matte pale brown. I gotta say, for doing this with my left hand, I'm pretty proud right now. And I hope I didn't just jinx it though. And then lastly, we've got this like orangey brown kind of color. So there is the Pisces quad. And last but not least, we have the Aquarius quad. So here's this really pretty Looksy shade. Oh, I just swatched that like on the brown and off camera. So yay, Catherine. Next, we've got that really pretty blue from Cleona. Oh yeah, look how deep that looks and more blue compared to the BH one. Good choice, good choice. Okay. Next up, we've got another warm matte brown. Yay! Okay, so here's that guy. And then last, we've got a matte deep brown. Okay, so there's that. Guys, now that I have them all swatched, I cannot believe how similar these look to the actual Colourpop quads. Let me pull in my second arm and we can kind of look at all of them swatched out together. Okay, so full transparency, I did just go re-swatch the ones on this arm because I had taken them off not knowing that I was going to show them all on screen together, but here they are. So again, Cancer quad, Taurus quad, Gemini quad, Virgo quad, Pisces quad, and Aquarius quad. And I really do think that these are pretty spot on. Now, okay, let me know your favorite below. Which one do you like, and which one do you think is the closest dupe? But, okay, full transparency. I know, like, this is a basic bitch type of collection, you know? Like, I know a lot of people didn't love this when Colourpop came out with them, but honestly to me, like, quads are just nice, you know? Like, you don't have to think about it. Each one of these, there's a pretty clear look that you can do, you know? And if you want to get fancy, like, you can with most of them, but there's something very obvious to do with these. And I like that. I got a little tiny pea brain because, you know, I got lots of homework to do and reading and all that stuff. So when I'm doing my makeup, sometimes I just don't want to think about it. And these quads tempted the crap out of me. So I'm really glad I got to sit down and do this. It's de-stressing for my brain. It shows me that I don't need these. I honestly could have probably duped the Capricorn one, but that's neither here nor there. The choice has already been made. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. And now let's move on to putting some of these quads, I don't know which ones, on my eyeballs. Okay, so I've already got a full face of makeup on, but for the eye looks, I'm gonna speed it up. I'm gonna follow a very similar shape on both eyes. And I've been sitting here while I was doing my makeup and I was trying to decide which two palettes I'm going to use. So I think I'm going to use the Cancer quad, and then actually I'm gonna use the Aquarius quad. I don't wear blues very much, so I figured it was time to push myself. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and speed up the eye looks, and you can see how I make these two looks. Both eyes are done, Now, ignore the fact that my lashes look pretty spidery today, but here are the eyeballs. So let me know which one you like more. If you want to see close-ups of either of these eye looks, they're going to be on my Instagram. And that's kind of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, like, me building these palettes and duping them doesn't mean like I'm saying like go buy Aqua Fortis from Cleona, you know, or anything like that. It's just me showing that you don't have to buy everything. Now again, I did buy one of these palettes, so you know, take what I say with a grain of salt. But it was fun. I love duping palettes, I love building my own palettes, and I hope you enjoyed watching me do it as well. If you have any things you want me to dupe in the future, or any like inspos for palettes, let me know, and I'd be happy to build any palette. Or if you know, have single eyeshadows, build your own palette and tag me in it on Instagram so that way I can see it. I'd love to see any of your creations. And other than that, I hope that you stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye!